Hi guys, welcome back to Tech with Tata. I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different this week. Rather than talking about my brand, I'm going to be branching more into actually learning about code, which is super exciting. I myself am a health policy and administration major, as I mentioned in last week's video. So my understanding of things like HTML and CSS is probably similar to someone who's watching this with absolutely no experience. It's very minimal, so I'm learning right alongside you. So bear with me as I go through the layman's terms of these things, and hopefully we can both learn together. The first thing I'm going to start off is talking about what HTML is and what CSS is. So the best way for me to envision it is if HTML is like the bones of your house, when like architecture people are like, oh, the house has good bones. HTML is your actual content, while CSS is the interior design. CSS is the aesthetics of whatever code you're working with. So in this example, we're going to be making a resume and personalizing it for me. Here's the template, and the HTML contains all the actual content. So things like in this work experience, all the gibberish, that is all HTML code. While CSS is like the background colors of the resume, or maybe the font, and it's the aesthetics of the resume. So I'm going to be manipulating both of these things and personalizing it to my liking. And then at the end of the day, we're going to end up with my own resume with my content in it. The best way to kind of like learn about this type of stuff, in my opinion, is just really diving into it and trying your best. It's not going to be the type of thing that is just like super easy off the bat to understand. But I think the most important thing is going through the HTML, deleting things and adding things and seeing what that changes. This website, CodePen, does a really good job of kind of showing you the effects of your manipulation to code. So the first thing you're going to want to do is fork this. Really, in layman's terms, all that means is you're going to just be taking that content and making it your own. So you're taking ownership of it, basically making a copy. So I'm really going to quickly make an account, and then I'm going to own like a separate copy of this template. So now that I've made an account and I'm all logged in, the first thing I notice is I'm looking basically at the code over on the left and the actual resume, like what it looks like on a website, to the right. I notice right here it says aspiring web developer, photography enthusiast, and gamer. If I want to edit that to myself, I'm going to go into the code and find that second heading and then edit it to what I am. So I think I'd say something along the lines of student at Penn State, interested in health, tech, and sales, because those are generally the things I'm interested in. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to edit exactly that. So I'll be right back. So now I've gone in and I've taken that HTML and I've personalized it to be my own. Student at Penn State University looking to learn more about business, sales, healthcare, and technology. I cleaned up that sentence a little bit so I wasn't just thinking on the fly. But as you can see, it's relatively self-explanatory. A lot of these things are extremely customizable and straightforward. You can see exactly where the headers or your paragraphs that have to do with your work experience job titles kind of fall into play. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to edit it all for me, all of my information through the HTML. So I'll be right back. One thing I want to just quickly share before I kind of edit the entire thing, I changed the image extremely easily. I found exactly where in the HTML that headshot was on the template, and then I went on to my LinkedIn, clicked and dragged my profile picture into a separate tab, copied and pasted that LinkedIn headshot, and then pasted it into the HTML, and CodePen automatically has that right there now on the resume. So now, as you can see, I've gone through and I've edited this entire resume template to have all of my information. So I put in my 3 various recent job positions, my education, and CodePen does an incredible job of kind of just like immediately updating this. And it's pretty self-explanatory from that point on. And then my HTML and content itself is set. So then if I want to mess around with the CSS and change some colors or fonts or sizes, it's extremely self-explanatory as well. For example, we can see right here in header 2, it's 40 pixels. That's like the size of the font. If I want to mess around with it, I can go to 90. And then you're going to see that student at Penn State University looking to learn more is extremely expanded. So all you're going to do to make that go back to normal is this. So I'm going to play around with the colors now. So my favorite color is orange, so I changed the background to orange based off of just a color hex code. But as you can see, CSS is really easy to edit, and I already liked the format of this, so I just kept the rest. But overall, this website is extremely helpful for beginners like me in learning how to use HTML and CSS.